Yo, what is up guys? So today we're going to be showcasing off the new gadget deck in action, really utilizing the core mechanics of the older gadgets. It's basically a rank 4 spam deck over here. But anyways, yeah, this is Platinum Gadget. It recently got announced. I don't think anyone has really covered it too much. I mean, basically, it can't be thrown into a lot of decks or just be splashed in because not only does it require machine monsters, but you're only going to be able to special summon a level 4 Allure Machine Monster to a zone that this card points to, but then the worst part of this effect is it can't be used as Link Material during the turn. It was Link Summon, so whatever that you're going for, the additional cards that you're summoning with it, you're not going to be able to go for too much during that turn, but you can still make some great cards, and, you know, this happens to be one of them. Eggs Tonight is just a fantastic card. I know this matchup, you know, with the Tornado Dragon, obviously really good against Fire Fist, but we have a few different places that I kind of want to showcase off, kind of just talking about that card in general. But yeah, the new gadget, it basically lets you open up with a board that's like, yo, I got this monster and then maybe another rank 4. Or you can just have an additional card here to kind of just keep up on board so you don't get OTK'd. But then the next turn, you can use it as material because it only can't be used as Link material during the turn it was Link Summon. But that basically means if you're playing gadgets, or I'm assuming you're going to want to play gadgets with this, if they destroy this, you're going to be able to special summon a level 4 gadget monster from your deck. But yeah, basically what it comes down to is you're going to be able to stall for it a little bit over here. So courtesy of Spiral, shoutouts to you, man. You built a pretty cool little deck that's more of like a core gadget deck. I know that there's other variants of ways to play, you know, utilizing the Platinum gadget, but for the most part, people want to see it in gadgets, and here it is for you guys. But yeah, I mean, you can supposed to summon any level 4 or lower machine monster, but then pretty much you're going to have to use that card and then maybe like another card to go and try to make something else, whether you're playing ABCs or whatever the case may be. You do have 2 extra zones, which is kind of nice, but this video really shows off how good Exciton Knight is in 2018, especially against decks that could be pendulums or cards that are going to have a lot of back row over here. But we have Rafflesia. I would say this deck doesn't really have too much of a chance against a lot of the higher tier decks in the competitive scene because it just doesn't really stun your opponent. All it does is really stall, give you some extra advantage here. You can go into an Exciton Knight or a Rafflesia. Those are probably your best options for like a turn 1 rank 4 play with this deck. Keep in mind though, you're not going to be able to use this as material. However, if you happen to have it survive during the next turn, you can go into whatever you want to. And because the way gadgets are designed, you're going to be able to get a lot of reoccurring cards just be in your hand. Therefore, you're going to be able to summon more than likely a Link 4 or even a Link 3 next turn pretty easy. But you have to stall for that one turn, utilizing, of course, what's already on the board. You could play more back row, and I think this could make the deck a little bit more successful. But if you play multiple back row, you're not going to be able to get out your gadget, plus have additional like monsters such as Rafflesia as consistent because you just won't have those cards in your hand, which is another thing I wanted to kind of mention here. But yeah, overall, the gadget stuff is kind of more legacy support, I would say. It just supports some older styles. But you, like I said, can make things like Boros Sword. You're just going to have to wait a turn to make some of these more powerful cards. I think that's the biggest drawback of the newer gadgets over here, is that there's really nothing that makes them super strong. You do have things like the Sky Strikers that can almost make any deck much more viable in the game. But pretty much you're making this and then you're going for a rank 4 and you're passing. That's kind of how they want you to play. If this card didn't have that limit where it can't, if it could be used as Link material during the same turn of summon, then we're looking at a much better deck because the gadget that you summon will already replenish your hand anyways. And on top of that, it doesn't really have to be a gadget, but again, it's going to give you that extra card. But I would even be okay if it like negated the effects or something, because it's still special summoning from the hand, therefore you're usually going minus anyways. But again, this is kind of just going for Boros Sword once again over here. But anyways, this one's kind of a funny play over here. I figure I'd just go ahead, send it in. It shows you how resilient the deck could be, meaning that like if you happen to lose your gadget, another one comes out, and then another one comes out, and you have a decent amount of advantage that you could generate. Another guy playing Paleozoics over here, but We've got 3 of the gadgets up on the board. We've got the Platinum Gadget, Iron Claw, bringing back our boy. And then we also have usefulness of the new Runway Railcar Flying Pegasus, which will give you an additional monster. Soul Charge. I was thinking, oh, dude, it's already game over. It's just a Soul Charge play here. We're just going to go ahead, get some more gadgets here. Go into Tornado Dragon, pop a back row. But the Zoe card is going to be activated, and it's going to go ahead and flip it face down. Fleesia is then summoned. So I would say this is not that bad of a setup versus that deck. But the Winged Dragon of Ra Sphere Mode is coming out over here. And he still has a lot of gadgets, so he's going to, again, be very resilient. He's going to go ahead and activate Sanctum. He's going to go ahead and make it so he can't summon things from the extra deck during the for the rest of the turn. So that basically shuts him down. But he still has a Winged Dragon Ra Sphere Mode. It's going to go to his opponent. He's probably going to regret leaving it on the board because the guy actually plays the Winged Dragon of Ra. He's going to go ahead and pop the gadget. Go ahead and pop the Silver Gadget. Silver's going to go ahead and grab Gold Gadget. Gold Gadget. It's going to go ahead and then grab him Red Gadget. Red Gadget is going to search the Yellow Gadget. So he still has a decent amount of cards in his hand. He's going to take a bunch of damage, but it shows you how resilient the deck can technically be. We see the Stardic Engage over here. He's going to go ahead and go for the Hornet Bits. I'm going to go straight into Kagari, which happens to be a machine monster, which is excellent for this deck. And I think it's a great addition to the whole gadgets. But unfortunately, Winged Dragon of Ra is going to go ahead and activate that effect once again to pay 1,000 life points. And he paid so many dang times. I guess, I mean, even the gadgets are no match for the God card, the Winged Dragon of Ra. But anyways, I mean, there's a few more plays here. I wouldn't say they're pretty much the same stuff, but for the sake of just playing it, let's go ahead and just kind of play it out. Some of you guys might be able to see some other plays. But I would say it's pretty much going to be the same thing. It's pretty much make the Platinum Gadget turn 1, and then go ahead and go for like another Ring 4, and they still have cards to replenish your other cards. I haven't seen this card in quite some time. I remember when this card used to be super popular, but the Gigant X, excellent little card just to search out stuff. But again, this is the problem that I have with the deck. There's really very little things that you're going to be able to do to stun in this deck that you couldn't already do. Going for a Platinum Gadget pass is obviously pretty terrible, but if you go for like Platinum Gadget and then maybe a Rafflesia, it's still just a very small play, especially if you don't have any back row. I understand, yeah, Rafflesia can count as back row, but there's so many monster effects these days that are just going to completely ruin you. But technically, this is a good example. The deck can push pretty hard, but it's a wait one turn. Very few decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Will give you that one turn that you need to be able to finish off your opponent next turn, especially since you don't really stun your opponent. So we'll get into the deck profile and we'll talk a little bit about it in a moment once I show that for you guys. But this is just more so showcasing off just some of the plays that you can do with, of course, the Sky Strikers. But it's basically that this card happens to be a machine, so you're going to be able to easily just go straight into the Platinum Gadget. And then from there, you still have your summons. I'm going to go ahead and special summon the Yellow Gadget to the zone. We got Rafflesia. Go ahead and attack over here. And then we have Treacherous Trap Hole as a back row here. But I'm thinking maybe some of the Psalms could help. But again, that kind of hurts the consistency with being able to throw out like multiple monsters turn 1 in the deck, so you can actually make some of these boards. I think if you were able to throw out Rafflesia, plus you had like another good rank 4 in the game, you might have a little bit better of a chance. But like, what other good rank 4 do you go for turn 1 that can actually like stun your opponent? Again, a lot of times it just came down to a Boros Sword being able to finish off the duel, but we had to wait one turn. Again, a lot of meta decks won't give you that opportunity. But anyways, for those of you guys that do want the deck profile to maybe try it out yourself, I'm thinking that perhaps if we just added some more traps into the deck, it could be a little bit better. We didn't see Turbo Booster, but basically it's just another machine monster that you can just straight up special summon. And then you can also tribute this card to destroy one monster opponent controls that battle one of your monsters this turn. Pretty much, it's irrelevant. It's just a more utility for you to just get out the Platinum Gadget. So this card would technically allow you, if you were to say go for the like Brandish cards over here, or the Sky Strikers, you'd be able to go into potentially double rank 4s, especially with like Iron Claw. You'd be able to make plays where you can go for multiple rank 4s. But as far as the rank 4s go, I want to know in the comment section below, what cards would you guys make? Would you go for like a Giant Hand Rafflesia? Or like, what are the go-to cards right now? Because I remember when Dwello was hot for a while against certain matchups, but there's just really not that many great rank 4s that can stun your opponent. And if you're not stunning or you're not OTKing, I feel like it's just going to lose popularity. But what was cool though is we get to saw a lot of use of the Exiton Knight, which is a fantastic card. that we have now back in the game. Anyways, quick little deck profile for you guys. It's pretty simple. Just triple of all the gadgets. That includes the silver, so red, yellow, green, silver, and gold. All 3 of them. 3 copies of Tin Goldfish. I also wanted to mention, that's not a bad option. You could play Bahamut Shark if you wanted to. I was also thinking you could definitely play things like Desires in here. Definitely not Indulgence because you just don't have the room for it. Although, by all means, go ahead and try it if you'd like to. But I think Desires would be good because this deck is kind of oriented around getting a turn 1 board and then next turn trying to finish off your opponent. And that could definitely help out. And then we have 3 copies of the Runaway Railcar Flying Pegasus, which is, again, going to give you that additional summon, so it'll let you just go for more rank 4 plays. And we have multiple copies of Turbo Booster, then 3 copies of Ash Forehead, 3 copies of Iron Call, 1 Reborn, we got Soul Charge, 2 Engage, 1 Hornet, 1 Afterburner, 1 Upstart, we got 1 Treacherous, 1 Nightmare, and then we have the Time Space Trap Pull. Like I said before, I feel like you might be able to throw in more traps to kind of add more consistency to your deck to be able to get that next turn, but I just don't feel like this deck has a place in the metagame right now because, again, it doesn't stun, it doesn't OTK, and I just feel like it is resilient on trying to survive, but the problem is that, like, they gotta be destroyed by Battle by Card Effect, whereas so many decks will just bounce back, tribute your cards, and then at that point, like, you just don't get the value out of your cards. Waiting is not gonna be a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! That will work. But against other decks like Fire Fist or more like Legacy decks, this deck is not too bad, but again, I feel like this is more for Legacy support. This card should have came out a long time ago, but now I think the game has just gotten too fast. I think it shouldn't have had that restriction. Then we'd be looking at a much more potentially better gadget deck in 2018. But there it is, guys. Some new gadgets in 2018 utilizing the new Platinum Gadget card. Shoutouts once again to my boy Spyro for sending these plays in. But if you guys got any suggestions for the deck, let me know down below in the comment section below. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button to see more new Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff. And if you've got any cool replays, feel free to go and send in. I know this one isn't competitive. I know someone's gonna be like, "Oh, this deck not even competitive." Guys, it's the original like gadgets. We're not using like the ABC because I think people did want to see a 2018 gadget deck. But again, it's counterproductive against what you'd probably want to do. But that's just the way they designed it. But anyways, thanks for watching. Peace out.